for Tuesday, October 1st, 2019, 4:30 PM. To order, first item on the agenda is your consent agenda items. What's your wishes?
I'll offer a motion to approve those.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items. Any discussion on any? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item number 2, license and permits, a temporary on-sale intoxicating liquor license for the Brown County Agricultural Society, and that's for Saturday, October 19th, 2019.
I'll move it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item number 3, old business, day after Thanksgiving holiday. Chris?
Council President, Councilors, so this is an item that's being brought back to you for potentially giving us the day after Thanksgiving off. Again, like stated before, we sent out information to 62, or the request to 62 different cities. 53 of those did have the day after Thanksgiving off. I feel that this is one of those holidays that I think should be added to our paid holiday, as county has it off. And again, Thanksgiving is a time to be with your family, and having to have people rush back, depending on weather conditions, might be hazardous, might not be safe. Allowing employees to be with their families and spend time with their families instead of having to worry about rushing home and coming back to work. I was here last year for working on the day after Thanksgiving, and it was a ghost crew here. Everyone takes vacation time off anyway. We're running on very much a skeleton crew. And the phones didn't ring the entire time I was here, because people don't think we're open that day anyway, as the county's closed as well. They just naturally assume that we're closed. And then trying to get work done during that day also is not as easy as you think it would be, because the people you need to get in contact with aren't working either. So again, just a very dead day to get things done. So I spent most of my time cleaning out my office and cleaning out my inbox. So I think it's something to help, again, boost morale with employees. And then also giving us one extra holiday is something that we can put out as a competitive package when we're trying to recruit individuals to come work for the city, at the utilities, and here at the city.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I know at the last meeting, I asked for a little more information on overall number of holidays that we have in comparison to the other cities, and that's part of our new packet as well. And we certainly fit in that scenario, which I just wanted to make sure that, because this is a nice extra bonus to have, and as Chris said, there's not a lot goes on. It's probably the slowest work day probably of the year, because there aren't very many people, and not many people coming into our building for services on that particular day. I'm okay with what I see here. I don't think we're being excessive. I think we need to make sure that we have a competitive package when we're out recruiting for people in all our various different jobs. And with that, I'm going to offer a motion to support this.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
I guess I'd like to just maybe add, we're looking at 12 days is what we have here for the city of New Ulm. We're in the upper end already. And I guess I'd like to see it that if we would go ahead and give them this 13th day, but I think having a personnel committee that reviews it each year as a case, depending on which day the holiday falls. It might be a give that you might lose out on Friday for Good Friday or something, or give or take a little bit, maybe a day here or
I think there's a correction, Larry, though. Right now, the city has, unless I'm wrong, and Shauna can correct us, we have 9 holidays and 2 floaters. So,
That's what I was basing my decision on,
Uh,
that we're actually now going to be real close to the cities our size,
Okay.
or giving that.
I was just looking at with Lisa before on the
We pulled out the
calendar.
personnel manual, and in there there's,
probably that half day of Christmas, I think, might be the confusion,
I think,
I would think.
do they still get Good Friday? Is Good Friday still? Okay.
Yeah,
so-
Shauna Boomgarden, Human Resources Director. Yes, right now we have 9 holidays and 2 floaters is what we have currently. If it's something that you want to look at, we can, but we also do have union contracts that are usually 2 or 3 year terms, so that
Sure.
might be an issue with that. If that does get put in the union contracts.
I'm just trying to see where I went wrong here.
I guess my comment is, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's something we probably should do, but I would think it maybe could have been a negotiating item or something like that, just for us as in negotiations, that's all.
And it will be, this would be for this year, so it will be negotiated with the unions when we go through negotiations for permanently in their contract.
But we would never have non-union employees have the day off and our union employees have the day off.
I mean, that could happen, yeah,
I mean, I
Right now, LELS gets holidays we don't get.
correct. And it has happened with other cities. I'm not saying that that's gonna happen here, but it
Oh,
has.
they get President's Day, that's the
Mm-hmm.
President's Day and Christmas Day that LELS gets. I guess I'm okay with it. I went online and looked at even some of the surrounding communities that we didn't have, like Sleepy Eye and Mankato, and they all have that day off, and I guess I'm comfortable with that.
You know, I'm comfortable just kind of keeping it maybe as a negotiated item and
Absolutely.
personnel committee review it year to year, or, you know.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item number 3.2, Personnel Committee.
All right, again, this
Chris?
is another item that was tabled and brought back before you. So the 3 options that you have for
Say,
the
Chris, maybe before we get going too far.
Right.
This item, according to the minutes, was supposed to be tabled to a work session. And that's what we discussed at the last meeting. So I
Probably
think
should
we
pull it.
need to table it again and put it in the work session where it belongs.
Okay, we can do that.
Do we need to officially do that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll offer a motion to table it till we
Second.
review it in more in depth at a work session, and then we'll bring it back.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 3.3, New Ulm Chamber Oktoberfest event. Let's see, who's got that one?
So we need to rescind a
Chris?
motion, rescind the resolution, and redo it?
Yes, so the chamber is looking at adding an additional alley closure. If Michael, you want to come up and talk about that?
Sure. Michael Loaf, Chamber President. So basically what we're asking is we're trying to get more compliant with some of the issues that were brought up during the last council meeting. So we're asking that the closure of the alley be added to the rest of the closures that we did before. Basically what we're asking is that where our toilets and garbage currently are going to be placed, or it is also closed down, so we don't have people wandering through the alley with alcohol.
And then on top of that, they are, B&L is working, and possibly the chamber working with the leased parking spot owners to give them a place to park, because they will be closing that alley as well where that public parking is. So they are addressing the leased parking for those days to find them a parking spot.
Yeah, and they have been contacted. We have spots for all of them.
So that's the change that we're looking at here today.
Yeah, and then the addition to we're hiring staff for the entrances and exits so that they're making sure that the alcohol stays within the boundaries.
That alley, is that gonna be an entry then to the festival?
It's not.
So that's gonna be closed across? So
Correct.
they won't be going from the B&L to there, to the res from that
Correct.
way?
Nope, there'll be an actual entrance exit back there, but not tickets, nothing else. So someone will be stationed back there just so that they don't leave the alleyway
So it's an,
with alcohol.
okay.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Mr. Lift, what kind of barriers or barricades were you planning on installing on the chamber permitted area?
Yeah, so first we were gonna use snow fencing, but we found a lot of difficulties with it. It's very flexible. So we actually have, it's 4-foot high horse fencing that'll go all the way around the barriers.
So it'll be more than just parking bucks, you're actually gonna secure it?
Yep, yeah, it's not just gonna be barricades this year, it's actually gonna be complete fencing all the way around.
Good, thank you.
Yep. And there'll be basically three exit points. It'll be, on the map, it's one by Bank Midwest where the ticket booth is. The other one is on right next to the chamber, and then one to leave the alleyway.
So they can leave the alleyway, but they can't enter?
They can't leave it with alcohol. That's why
Okay.
we're gonna have someone stationed there.
Any other questions, concerns?
Mr. President, would the method of securing this fencing be, could I review that? We don't want to have posts in our pavement. I don't know what they're thinking.
It just stands upright by itself.
Okay,
Yep.
Weighted
It's not gonna be
base.
drilled down or.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a weighted base.
Don't be drilling up our streets.
No, no thanks.
With that, I'll go ahead and offer the resolution, number 19-94, adopted on September 17th, approving the street closures for Oktoberfest-related activities.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to offer the resolution. Waive reading. Any more discussion? Seeing none, Finance Director, please call the roll.
Counselor Fisher?
Yes.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
President Schmitz?
Yes, motion carries.
You
Item
rescinded
number
it.
4, professional services agreement with
two of
Brown Intertech.
Oh, Charlie, sounds like there's two.
Is there two?
you got to rescind.
Yeah, motion to rescind, but now we gotta do it to approve.
Oh,
And Nicole, I didn't catch exactly how that was expressed, if it was consolidated into one or?
It probably could be interpreted either way if we put an "and" in there. Right now, there's two separate sentences in here for two separate resolutions.
Okay.
But I suppose on the rescinding should probably be separate, and then
I
the
think
new
that would be
resolution will have a new
appropriate.
number, so.
Thanks for catching that.
So I need to amend my original motion to rescind
Now
the.
just offer the resolution.
If your
approval.
if your first one was to
It
rescind.
was
rescind.
not. It was
It
not.
wasn't, it was
That's
to
what I thought,
approve, so
yeah.
now you would rescind.
Now we need to
Yeah,
rescind.
now we would need to
Yeah,
rescind.
that's what I thought.
That's okay, yeah, I
Okay,
think if
so-
we've passed the new one.
Pass
we
the
just
new
need
one.
to
We did.
rescind
So
this
I'll
one.
offer a motion to rescind the old.
Second.
Second.
we have a motion and a
clean.
second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Resolution.
Resolution.
I was gonna say
Resolution. Resolution waived reading.
That chamber, they're just.
All right,
I'll tell
then.
ya.
Counselor Fisher?
Yes.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
President Schmitz?
Yes, motion carries. Item 4, professional service agreement with Brown Intertech. Steve?
Thank you, Mr. President. It will be my future recommendation that we continue the Front Street reconstruction on next year's capital improvement plan. Basically, we're gonna get up to 7th South this year, and we'd like to do another 4 blocks next year. As part of that, we've got underground utility work with some deep sanitary sewer excavation, and I'd like to get some 4 borings out there at 4 of the intersections to get some geotechnical information with regard to soil strength and groundwater and things of that nature. Knowing that information lets us design the pipe strength pretty much what's needed rather than increasing it with a factor of safety, which could easily save us $50,000 or $60,000. So I would certainly recommend that we contract with Brown Intertech for $74.88 to do this work. We have that money in our engineering consultant budget already.
That was my question. I'll move it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 4.2, professional service agreement with Brown Intertech. Steve?
Mr.
that's-
President, basically the same thing. We'd like to do some stormwater pond cleanout up on Oak Bluffs. 4th edition, that pond has been constructed, I believe, about 2004, and it's quite full and needs to be restored to its original contours. Whenever you clean something out like that, you have to do testing in order to determine if you can dispose of this on just on a land location, or if it has to go to a special site. We did the same thing for the 5th North Street pond, and it came out clean. So we can, again, save a lot of money if we can specify what we do with this material. And we do have that in our budget as well.
Thank you. Any
I'll
question?
I'll offer the motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 4.3, use of the parking stalls by the New Ulm Craft and Vendors Event Board. Chris?
Council President, councilors, this item was last brought to you July 16th, 2019, and you approved the Craft and Vendor Fair to use the parking lot for the same purpose, and they're looking at doing another event on 2 different days in 2020, and potential alternate days if the weather doesn't comply with the event. I didn't get any complaints about the fair when they had done it already, and the police chief, I didn't get any police reports of any incidents, so I think it is a good use of the parking lot to host events like these.
That's for August 8th, 2020.
June 6th.
They're way ahead of
August 8th.
schedule.
Right?
June 6th. and
6th,
August.
okay, yep, all right, sorry. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no?
Nobody made a motion.
have a
for
motion.
yeah.
Why not?
I'll
Dang it,
offer the
I'm-
motion to approve.
Second.
I'm rushing it. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no? Motion carries. Item 4.4, utility easement subordination agreement. And let's see.
I can speak on that,
Go-
Mr.
go for it.
President, or at least begin. Some time back, in conjunction with the National Guard field maintenance shop development out on the west side of the airport, a stormwater study was commissioned and finalized, and the recommendation at the time was to extend storm sewer piping from basically North Highland Avenue south of Highway 14 right away to serve that site. And along with that, the Public Utilities Commission would like to bring along underground power as well as natural gas piping. So that makes sense as far as servicing that site, but we need to come up with some type of an agreement that will require that the contractor or whatever happens in that airport space conforms with FAA and MnDOT aeronautics requirements. So we were working on an easement agreement to accomplish that. Ultimately, there is a cost that's associated with that. We finally got the appraisal. It's $1,700. It's something we already have in the budget. It would be paid to the airport, who would use it on something at the airport. So ultimately, it would reduce the tax levy, I guess. I got it to the city attorney somewhat late, and he reviewed it and had some concerns with regard to the city granting itself its own easement. So I'll maybe let him expound on where we went with that. So we can work out some kind of agreement to solve the FAA issues with his help.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, council members, the initial draft of the easement was prepared by Mead and Hunt, the consultant that we worked with on the airport issues. And basically what they had was the city giving an easement to itself, which is a matter of real estate law you can't do. Because there are going to be these utilities involved, in the past the city has given easements to the public utilities. They're sufficiently distinct that that's something that's certainly allowed. So what I did was to revise the easement to include that. I also put in provisions that, to the extent the city is installing the storm sewer, that the city would also agree to abide by FAA and Minnesota requirements that they might have because of the airport being nearby. I sent that up to the representative of Mead and Hunt this morning. I got an email from him this afternoon indicating that he's passed it on to the FAA and he's waiting for their comment. I told him you would be considering this at 4:30, and to my great surprise, the FAA hasn't responded yet. My suggestion to the council would be if you otherwise were in agreement that you would authorize entering into this agreement, this easement agreement with the PUC, and give staff and myself the leeway if we would need to make any minor revisions to it, that we could do that. Because I think the timing is somewhat sensitive. I believe that Steve indicates he'd like to get going on this project.
Yeah,
so-
it's in the construction documents or projects for this year. We're waiting for the corn to be harvested, which, if it keeps raining, might be several weeks. But, so we'd like to keep this moving. It's taken some time to get the appraisal. And hopefully, if it's okay, you could add the approval of the $1,700 payment from the city as part of your approval if you're granting that.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, entertain a resolution.
I'll take a stab at it. I'll offer the resolution to waive the reading, approving the city manager and the city attorney and the city engineer to make minor modifications to the agreement and allow the $1,700 payment.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to offer the resolution, waived reading. Any more discussion? Seeing none, Finance Director, please call the roll.
Counselor Fisher?
Yes.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
President Schmitz?
Yes, motion carries. Item number 5, approve a list of claims paid in the amount of $5,463,676.94 and approve a list of claims to be paid in the amount of $2,019,513.21.
I'll move it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Without a gavel, meeting adjourned.
No, again.